Greetings, wonderful people. This happens to be our second video. And in our previous video, our first video, we talk about elasticity. We are able to know the types of elasticity. That's the elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply. We dig much into the elasticity of demand, and we are able to know that also the types of elasticity of demand, where we were able to conclude that we have three types of elasticity of demand. That's the price elasticity of demand, and also the income elasticity of demand and cross elasticity of demand. We also further move on with the price elasticity of demand, where we are able to know the definition of price elasticity of demand. We are able to also know the formulas we use in calculating the price elasticity of demand. So today, by the end of this video, you should be able to explain at least three types of elasticity of demand. Just stay tuned and let's learn together. So today, the main focus will be on the types of price elasticity of demand. In fact, we have 5 types of price elasticity of demand, and each of the 5 types of elasticity of demand has its own unique features. Let's start with the first one. That's the fairly elastic demand. So I want to ask, what do we mean by fairly elastic demand, or what do we mean when we say a commodity has fairly inelastic demand? Okay, it's simple. When you say a commodity has fairly elastic demand, we mean that when there is a small change in price, it leads to a large change in quantity demanded. So, for instance, if a price is decreased from, let's say, 2 cedis to 1 cedi, quantity demanded can also increase from 20 to 80. So in here, when they calculate the percentage change in price, it will be much smaller when you compare to the percentage in change in quantity demanded. It means that the coefficient of the price elasticity will be greater than 1, but it will be less than infinity. So whenever you calculate price elasticity and you get a coefficient which is greater than 1 but less than infinity, it means you are dealing with fairly elastic demand. And for that matter, the percentage change in price is less when you compare to the percentage change in quantity demanded. And also in drawing the fairly elastic demand curve, demand, the demand curve is gentle as compared to the other types of price elastic demand. Let's see how you draw the curve and write something small under it. So this is what I mean by fairly, or what we mean by fairly elastic demand. You can see that, in fact, the coefficient is greater than 1, but it's also less than infinity, and then the curve is gentle, and a change in price here is small than the change in quantity demanded. So whenever you calculate the price elasticity of demand and you get a coefficient which is greater than 1 but less than infinity, we are dealing with fairly elastic demand. And also we can see here that it is where a proportionate change in price is or causes or induces a greater change in quantity demanded. So this is the first type of price elasticity of demand, and we moving on to the next types of price elasticity of demand. Okay, the second type is also fairly inelastic demand, and it is directly opposite of the first one. So whatever the first one is, this is really opposite of the first one. What do you mean by opposite? We mean that inelastic here, a change in price causes less than a change in quantity demanded. That is, the changes in price is large when compared to the changes in quantity demanded. For the first one, which is the fairly elastic, the change in price causes a greater change in quantity demanded, but here a change in price causes less than a percentage change in the quantity demanded. And in here too, the curve is also steep, and for that matter, the coefficient is also greater than 0, but it is less than 1. That is, it is within 0 and 1. And um, here it is inelastic, meaning that whenever there's the change in price, um, still people demand those goods. People still buy those goods, even though the price is high or it has been increased significantly. Yes. So let's see what we mean by this by definition and also by the coefficient and the diagram as well. All right, so here too, as I said earlier, the proportionate change in price induces or causes a less than a proportionate change in quantity demanded. That is, the changes in price is far greater than the change. For instance, we can say that if a price change from P1 and P1 can be 20, and as a result change to from P1 to P2 where P2 is also 80. So from 20 to 80, but quantity demanded decreased just from 60 to 50. Now, when you calculate the price elasticity, you can clearly see that the percentage change in price is greater than the percentage change in quantity demanded. And this is as a result that that commodity we are dealing with has fairly inelastic demand. And for that matter, the coefficient is always greater than 0, but it is less than 1. That is, it is within 0 and 1. And the curve, demand curve, the demand curve is also steep, as stated here. The demand curve is steep. All right. So this is the second type of price elasticity of demand. Let's move to the third. All right. So as the name implies, the third one is unitary elastic demand. And as the name goes, unit. Unit means one. So in here, we are trying to say that this type of elasticity or price elasticity is whereby the percentage change in price causes an equal percentage change in quantity demanded. So the changes in price, when they calculate the percentage change in price, is also as the same as the percentage change in quantity demanded. So an increase or decrease or change in price causes the same change in quantity demanded under unitary elastic demand. And for that, the coefficient of the PED or the price elasticity of demand is 1. And also the demand is even in slope as compared to the other one, which is either steep or gentle. So with unitary elastic demand, the demand curve is even or it is evenly. So let's draw something down and know how we draw the unitary elastic demand. All right, even though the curve is not drawn to scale, but you can see that the margin here, that's the changes in price, is almost the same as the changes in quantity demanded. But when it is supposed to be drawn to scale, the changes is actually equal. That's why you calculate the price elasticity of demand and you will get a coefficient which is equals to 1. Here, the curve is evenly sloped, and also the changes in price causes equal changes in quantity demanded, cause equal changes in quantity demanded. So this is the third type of price elasticity of demand, and it is termed as unitary elastic demand. So initially, we were able to find out that we have fairly elastic, and this time around, the next one, that's the fourth type of price elasticity of demand, is perfectly elastic demand. So under fairly, we said that the changes in price causes a greater change in quantity demanded. But here, we are saying that um, there is not even a change in price. That the price remain the same. But as the price remain the same, quantity demanded keep changing. So here, when you calculate the price elasticity of demand, you get infinity. You get infinity, and that for that the calculator will tell you that mass error. So whenever you calculate and then the calculator shows that mass error, you should know that you are dealing with perfectly elastic, and that it has a demand curve which is horizontal. So let's write something here. So under perfectly elastic demand, sellers don't waste time thinking about changing their price, because if the seller by mistake increase the price, no consumer will buy that product. And also, if it decreases the price, in fact, if it increases the price, consumers will buy all his or her product, and then that seller will run at loss and will be kicked out of the market. So whenever the commodity has perfectly elastic demand, consumers don't waste time about changing the price. So it can sell its product at the fixed price, and then the consumer, that producer or seller will break even. So this happens at the fixed price. The price does not change. If it changes, either up for up, no one or no consumer will buy that product. But if it decreases the price, all consumers will buy its product, and then that seller will run at loss, and that will be kicked out of the market. So we are saying that it has infinity of price elasticity of demand. So whenever, as I said earlier, you calculate the price elasticity of demand, and then you get mass error, that is you are dealing, or know that you are dealing with a perfectly price elastic demand, and that under perfectly, it's advisable for producers or sellers not to think of even changing the price or the initial price. So normally it has only one price, and as you have been able to see clearly from the board. So we are saying here it happens at a fixed price. It's where at a fixed price, quantity demanded increase from Q1 to Q2, or decreases. That's from Q2 to Q1. That's how we mean by perfectly elastic demand. Let's move on to the last one for the day. So under the perfectly inelastic demand tool, there is a change in price, but the change in price does not affect the change in quantity demand, or does not affect quantity demanded. Um, this is where this happens when, in fact, there is no close substitutes, and then the product or the commodity they are dealing with is also a necessity. So here, the change in price does not affect a change in quantity demanded. So example can be maybe salt. Yes, it's where even if they increase the price, the same quantity that they initially buy, they will still buy the same quantity. They will not decrease their quantity. Like, as I said, salt. So if you go to market and then the price of salt has decreased, it has decreased, all right, but you are not going to buy so much. You buy normal as you used to, because the amount of quantity that you use in your soup will not change. You may say that they have increased the price, they have decreased the price of salt, so you are going to use 5 spoons instead of two that you used to. So this is an example of perfectly inelastic demand. So here the good is so essential that even if the price increase or decrease, you will still buy the amount of good or amount of commodity you used to buy. So the changes in price does not affect quantity demanded. And for that matter, it has a vertical demand curve. And also, the price elasticity of demand is zero, because price does not determine the quantity demanded. So we calculate the PED, that's the price elasticity of demand, and you get zero. Just state it in mind that you are dealing with price or perfect. You are dealing with perfectly inelastic demand. let's try something now and then we close for the day. So as I was saying earlier, here the changes in price or change in price has no effect on quantity demanded, and for that matter, the demand curve is vertical. It's vertical, as you can see, and that a change in price does not have any effect on quantity demanded. And then the most importantly, the price elasticity is also equals to zero. Is equals to zero. So today we learned about the price elasticity of demand. We were able to know the 5 types of price elasticity of demand. That's the fairly price elastic or fairly elastic demand. We have also fairly inelastic demand. We have also unitary elastic demand, and we have perfectly inelastic demand, and we have perfectly elastic demand. Thank you for being with me today. Kindly subscribe to the channel and share the video as well. Bye bye.